too many guys, and I know you guys talk about this all the time, get 2 strikes, and then they needle around and pick, and then it's 3 and 2, and then ready to get up a walk. That just irritates. I know you guys too, but it drives me insane. And I say it on the broadcast, if you listen, which I know you do. The traded leadoff walk or whatever. And what I like about Romo is he doesn't do that. He gets 2 strikes, he's going right after you, trying to end that bat right now. And for me, I love that. I love that. Maybe you get hit, but don't pick around and get yourself in a hole or get the batter, get back into the count. Just go get him right now.
Coach, dive into, I'm going to turn this over to you and Rex. People have heard me talk way too much here in the last 8.5 months. How in the world did y'all become Dodgers fans? I've got to hear all the stories of the Holt boys listening to the transistor radios, some of your memories of Dodgers baseball, and how you put what this season was in perspective. By the way, they did kind of a metric deal on all the home runs. Will Smith was rated as the number 1 most valuable home run ever. Miguel Rojas was number 3, Kirk Gibson behind that. That's how historic of a run that we just saw.
And yeah, 3 Dodgers right there, and all home runs that we certainly all remember. Case, I called my brother Randy last night, Guthrie Randy, and of course he wants to know how you got started too. Case, you can share this later when you became a Dodger fan. But double check with Randy. I told him, I said, "Thank you, big brother, for making me a Dodger fan." I was younger than Rex. I can remember us getting up in Randall, Oklahoma, and running to the store and getting a newspaper and hopefully a pop at a candy bar and reading the box scores. That's how far we go back, Case. I was trying to think. I had to be around 8 or 9 years old. Rex and I went on a senior trip. Our father was a senior sponsor there at Big Pastor High School in Randallette, Oklahoma. And we went to Dodger Stadium 2 years in a row. And it was about the time I was becoming a Dodger fan. Randy was rubbing off on me. Rex probably became, he can tell you, he probably became a Dodger fan before I did. But I was probably 8 or 9 years old, Case. I'm going on, not going to age myself. You guys probably know I'm going on 60 years a big Dodger fan. So, we've seen it all. So, I don't, obviously I was, I think 55, Rex can talk about that. That's his year in 58. I wasn't born until 58, so I certainly don't. The first championship I remember the Dodgers getting obviously was 81. And I was I was in my 20s, and me and Rex going crazy. I think it was at Pat Quinn's house. We can talk about that later. But we finally beat the dreaded Yankees, and the 1981. Then of course 88 was tremendous with Gibson's home run and beating a great team, the Oakland A's, 4-1. That was tremendous. Then we go 32 freaking years, Case, and in 2020, the Dodgers make a great run there, and everybody wants to.
There were some dark times, too, man.
Yes, a lot of dark times.
The court years were dark times.
Yeah, a lot of times we'd go to St. Louis or Houston and watch them get their ass beaten. Rex and I and Randy, and we'd make those trips. Any chance we got, the Dodgers were close to us, and that would be, like I said, St. Louis and Houston, both about 9 or 10 hours from here. But we'd make the trip, not as much as we'd like to, but some just to see the Dodgers, and it just became a Dodger fan. It's been going, it's in your blood. It's like being an Oklahoma State fan, or I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. You don't want to get into that, but, I've already mentioned that to you, Case. But, it just gets in your blood, and you live and die with them. So 88 was great. Then we go a long time, a lot of dark times there. Then come up 2020, of course, last year was tremendous. And yes, to me, it's just I get pissed off when I hear all the people talk about the Dodgers are buying this. There ought to be a law against this. Nobody said crap when the Dodgers are spending money and not winning. It's okay. Well, you guys wasted a lot of damn money. So you still have to get on the field, Case. We talked about this before the season. I don't give a damn what their payroll is. They still have to go out there and play the game. And to be honest with you, the Blue Jays outplayed them for the whole damn series.
Well, Coach, they outscored them by double-digit runs throughout the 7-game series.
So don't give me that crap. I know their manager. I like their manager. He didn't want to hear that crap either. No, neither did we. We were all giving the Blue Jays credit before this thing even started. And the salary had nothing to do with it. It's a winning tradition, a winning culture. And Joe Davis said it best, our guy Joe. I had to go back and watch it because I was too busy yelling. He said, you don't beat the champion unless you knock him out. If you're going to beat the champion, you have to knock him out. Joe Davis is always on spot. He's a great announcer. He's our announcer when he's not doing Fox. But that's true. Blue Jays had their chances. The Dodgers are in that point now. We've talked about the last 2 years. They've had to grind all through the regular season to win. There wasn't, we won by 14 the year before that and got our ass beat first round. So that tells you all you need to know right there. The last 2 years they've been grinders. They're not pretty boy LA guys anymore. The culture they have from the manager, the head of the front office on down is toughness. they just stayed in there. They're going to find a damn way to win. There's nothing that exemplifies any better than this Dodger team this year. To get totally outplayed in the World Series, yet find a way to win the last 2 damn games on the road. I'm just swelled with pride like you guys are. I'll let Rex talk. Man. I'll shut the hell up. He talks better than I do anyway. I still got my Southern Oklahoma drawl. He does it. I know the Japanese and the Koreans don't want to hear my ass anymore. They're trying to get their closed captions. The closed captions are going crazy there. So let's let Rex talk. But I'm just in heaven with blue heaven, as they say, Randy, Rex, and myself. And I know you, Case, and all of our Dodger dogs. Just a great, just still flying from that.
Absolutely. Rex, we have seen with our own Oklahoma State Cowboys in the 80s and then in the 90s that probably OSU had the best team in the United States of America in college baseball. I'd say at least 5 different times and came away with 0 championships under Gary Ward. So if there's any fan base ever that knows how hard it is actually to get to the finish line of a baseball championship, it's Oklahoma State baseball fans that are my age and you and everybody else around it, where we had the Pete Incavillas, the Robin Venturas, and all these, the John Farrells, and all these incredible players, the Mickey Tettletons, and the Jeremy Bernitzes. And hell, in 1990, we run-rolled our way to the finals, and that's when they made for TV. And it was instead of being best 2 out of 3, it was just one game. We get beat by a freshman. So I say that to say, there's nobody that knows more about how hard it is to actually get to the finish line of a championship in baseball than Rex Holt. So kind of talk about how you're feeling about this right now.
Well, I'm with you. Championships are hard, and that's a good thing. They're hard. It's hard to win a championship, and we know that all too well, again, here with OSU, but being lifelong Dodger fans. I was a kid of history, and I know that when I first started kind of, getting into, Jim Thorpe and looking up because I'm an Oklahoma kid. I'm a Dodger fan. Well, I look back at the year I was born, the Brooklyn Dodgers were the world champions. And that was the Boys of Summer. And I just kind of had a link to that. And then when we started watching baseball on Saturday instead of cartoons, Randy was a Dodger fan. Older brother Ron was rooting for the Yankees, and Mickey Mantle, like a lot of Oklahoma kids were. But watching the game that I didn't really have, but it was Sandy Koufax, basically. I just thought he was the coolest dude that there was. Watching him just mow people down, and he had a flair about him. And that's me. I'm just a lifelong Chicago Bear fan. That's because of Gale Sayers. About the same age, I saw him, and that was my dude. Now, the Bears weren't worth the darn forever. But Gale Sayers made me a Bear fan. Sandy Koufax, really. And my brother Randy had an influence, too, on me, too. But, again, I had 2 brothers and 2 different teams. But Sandy Koufax, I want to root for him. And then, they swept the Yankees. I think that's the 60s or whatever it was. And I think Koufax won 2 of those games. I may have gotten that wrong. I think Baltimore, they also swept in there somewhere along the way. But that's why I became a Dodger fan. And then I'm like Tony. We suffered through some tough times and all of that, but we never, you don't change your team because things aren't going well. But remember they finally broke through. I mean, there were some great teams. The Big Red Machine. There were some awesome Dodger teams that never won because of the Big Red Machine. Mm-hmm. I think they won 90-something games one year, and not everybody went to the playoffs in those days. So, that maybe some teams with Garvey and Say and Lopes and Russell and all those guys that never got that opportunity until, of course, they did. They played the A's, and that didn't work out. And so I remember renting a TV. We're going to rent a color TV when I was a freshman in college to watch the World Series and the Dodgers and the Oakland A's and all of that good stuff back in the day, and being heartbroken. Then I agree with Tony on what you guys are talking about. But, the Dodgers, they got some money. It's all about, and everybody can, whatever. But a lot of people have money. Look how much money the Mets spend, and some people that didn't even make the playoffs. Toronto's not a poor team. They spent money. They got high-profile, high-paid, some of the highest-paid players in baseball. They have them too. So do the Dodgers. But how do you spend your money? I think this team shows it wasn't all about the superstars at all. Yeah, Yamamoto was huge, and they paid him a lot of money. And the starting pitching was huge, and they went and got it. But we saw last year, all that starting pitching was hurt. It was all about the bullpen last year. This year, the bullpen struggling. Yates and all these guys get hurt. We have no bullpen. The guys that are there are coughing up leads every other night. And you're
Yeah.
thinking, well, but we had plenty of starting pitching. And again, the money showed up in the starting pitching this year. Yes, it did. But it wasn't like Mookie and Freddie and some of the headliners. Will Smith showed up, obviously. Freddie had the home run to win the 18-inning ball game. I mean, they did show up. But a lot of the heroes are just the workers. The Miguel Rojas, oh my goodness, to come through when he did. And he never hits home runs, but he hits a home run when it matters. And what a great defensive plays he made. That throw home, and the ball that looked like it was going to center field. It cut down the runner at the plate. And then the replay where Will Smith's cleat is about a half inch off the base, just gets it back on the home plate dish as the guy sliding in. What a great defensive play. That double play to end of Game 6. I've got to figure out that 6-7. Maybe that's just where this came from. All the kids are saying Game 6, Game 7. Maybe that's what it's all about. Yeah. But to get the double play, the pop-up, the double play, Game 6. And then, again, like I say, the workers, some of those are the, the play that Pi has made in center field. And I watched a little bit of the parade today, and they were talking about PK. He said, I was going to make a Willie Mays catch over my shoulder.
No, he wasn't.
He got run on by Pi as he hit the ground. He said, I'm laying face down on the track thinking we just lost the game. And he said, look up. Pi said, you okay? And he goes, you got the ball? And he goes, well, hell yeah, let's go. Fine. As long as you got the ball, we're good. So they ran off the field.
That's some Doug DeCenzo stuff right there.
Yeah. He said, but he was laying on the ground. He thought the ball hit the wall, that they were scoring, and that was it. So he was happy to find out that Pi hasn't caught the ball, whether he got knocked down or not, didn't matter. But like I say, those guys, it wasn't Teoscar and all those guys. Again, that's why it's a great team. But a lot of those guys who don't get a lot of fanfare, and there's just the extra guys on the roster, and then that bullpen. You kidding me? With those guys that came out, the guy with the Willis, with the red beard. They talked to him at the parade today, and he's like, I don't even know. Sheehan and those guys, again, all those rookies, and Robleski we already talked about. I mean, and you looked all the way up and down that roster. Somebody did something to contribute to that championship. There was no one guy. Yamamoto was MVP.
Everybody had their finger on it.
As far as the rest of it, everybody up and down that roster to the last man contributed. Even Kershaw got a chance to get in there and get the big out when they needed it. So, again, kudos to them. Whether you spend money or not, how do you spend it? What kind of players, and what kind of players are they? When the chips are down, you're grinding, you're looking for something. They just showed what they're made of. They're champions for a reason.
Okay, so the Dodgers won, and I'll let you guys both chew on this. The Dodgers won in 55, 59, 63, and 65. So in a 10-year span, in a one-decade span, they won 4. They have won 3 since 2020. 2020 people can talk all they want. That's as legitimate as it. Matter of fact, if you ask any of the players, it was the hardest one to win because there were more games and more rounds, and there was no home games and all that kind of deal. So I don't care who starts. Is this the best era ever of Dodgers baseball?
Well, I'm going to say year in and year out, probably. And again, I go back to, even though they did win titles, they went to a couple of World Series with the, Lasorda and that bunch. And, of course, my man Fernando, again, maybe one of my favorite Dodger players of all time. Now, nice to know that he's back on the veterans ballot, maybe to get into the Hall of Fame. That just came out. So maybe he'll get the opportunity to get there. Obviously, he's not with us anymore. But, when Fernando was doing his thing, we made those runs and had some opportunities. But I would say year in and year out, just of late. And they very easily could have, they could have beat Boston that year. They didn't. But, and of course, you had the year of the trash throws, hitting the trash cans, and still mad about that Game 7. Me and Tony were watching that thing, not knowing they were tipping all the pitches, and never really got penalized for that.
I can't imagine you guys weren't cussing the whoever was calling pitches that night.
Yeah,
what the hell are we doing?
Again, I think about all the heartbreak, and now you look up, and again, getting the most out of your guys. Nothing's given to you. They had to earn everything they got. They won 2 in a row. And again, if they make a couple of but I don't even know if they need to make moves, maybe just get healthy in a couple of areas. And they got these young guys coming up. Hopefully they'll get younger as they move along. And I know that probably some of these guys are moving on. I don't know. Will Muncy be back? Or, Rojas and some of these guys I don't know that have been around for a little while. But the Dodgers, they know what they're doing. It starts at the top, all the way down. The owners own, they spend the money. They got people that know how to spend it, GMs and everything. And let's go back to Dave Roberts. I know they talk about all the analytics, but he made so many moves that were just gut instinct moves throughout the playoffs. And boy, I tell you what, he didn't make many bad decisions that whole time, man. This is this era of Dodger baseball. I'm an old man, but this is about as good as it gets.
It absolutely is, Coach. What do you think?
Well, I'd go back. The only thing even close in my mind is probably the Garvey, Say, Lopes, Russell era out there with Tommy. And like Rex said, there were several years the Dodgers had the second best record in baseball, didn't even get in the damn playoffs because of the big red machine. But, that team didn't achieve what we've seen here in the last since 2020.
I think it's definitely the golden era of L.A. Dodgers baseball.
Yes. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But like I said, that team was very good. If that would have been a team that might have, if they'd have got in on a wild card type deal, might have made it. But that wasn't the case. And so that's there's nothing we can talk about there. That was a very good era of Dodger baseball. There was very, very frustrating era, but a very good era. But I think this is the best right here. I think I'll agree with you guys on that. I mean, even go back, hell, we get beat the first round by the Padres. Hell, we won our division by 14 games that year. I mean, you go back to how good these teams were. And what the Dodgers have been, as Rex mentioned, with the Reds losing the Red Sox and the Astros and all that stuff, but getting to the World Series, what's it been, Case? 6 out of the last 9 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. The Dodgers have actually been in the World Series. So I don't think there's any doubt that shows. And I know they mentioned the word dynasty day. A lot of people won't agree with it, but you got to kind of agree with it. They've got 3 and 5 years. If that's not a damn dynasty, I don't know what it is. So, it gets back to the same old thing. The money deal, they want to talk about it. It means nothing. When they're out there throwing the damn baseball, the Blue Jays bring a guy from low A ball that's shoving up everybody's rear end, and sets World Series records. That Barger kid, he's up and down. Nobody even knows he's Class A ball. Now he hits 480 in the damn World Series. That's what I mean. Yeah. Money didn't matter to him. He just wanted a damn chance to play in the World Series.
It's not like Ernie Clements and also like a superstar, but he was in the World Series, right?
Yeah, that dude. I love their team. I'm glad the Dodgers beat them. Rex and my nephew is an awesome kid, and that's his team. And so we love Grant, and I love the way this team plays. I'm glad we won. Obviously, I'm a Dodger fan, so don't get me wrong. I'm not hoping the Blue Jays win. But that was a hell of a team. Money meant nothing to those kids. It meant nothing to the Dodgers. And like Rex said, Dave Roberts made a lot of decisions. There wasn't any analytics there. It's like last year. There's not an analytic paper anywhere that says, "Oh, you're down 2-1 at San Diego. Throw a damn bullpen game." Hell no, there's no analytics for that. You had to. It's the only thing you had to do. And he didn't. Throws a damn 2-hit shutout. And the rest we know is history. So, putting his hands on Blake trying his chest last year, going out to the mound. Blake says he's coming out. That's my favorite. You're not going. I need an out. And Blake stays there and does his thing. That's what I mean. There's no analytics in that crap. It's on field. Putting Mickey Rowe. Mickey Rowe said Dave called him, texted him the night before Game 6. I need you tomorrow. He's not looking at paperwork. Hell, he'd say the guys, his numbers are terrible. No. He's not looking at paperwork. He said, I need energy. We know he brings energy. He's a good leader. The guys love him. He brings energy to the team.
He's a foxhole guy.
Yes, he didn't hit where the damn, but he made some of the biggest plays in Dodgers history, and that's what we're going to remember him for.
And the move to bring in Glass now.
Yes. Yes.
It really.
Hey, here's
the bases loaded and nobody out. My goodness.
You want to know the sneakiest move from Dave Roberts of the whole entire World Series? The sneakiest, best, maybe the best move he made the whole time. If you noticed, my boy Justin Dean, Big Papa, he was always the defensive substitution in center field. Well, Dave Roberts made a defensive substitution in center field in Game 7, and it was not Justin Dean. It was Andy Pages instead, right? So he didn't even bring in his normal defensive substitution. He brought in Andy Pages instead. And I'm just telling you right now, I love Justin, but I just don't think Justin would have had the confidence to go run over Kike Hernandez and make that catch. So if Dave just goes with script like, hey, this is the normal guy that I bring in for my center fielder for defensive replacement, Rex, the Dodgers lose because I think Justin Dean doesn't catch that. So I think that's sneaky that he brought in Andy Pages there.
Well, and Pages being taller, longer arms, that was huge on that play. Dean's a smaller guy. So, I mean, him and Kike, that just may have been a two-car collision in the ballgame. So he was able to get the leverage to get up above him, he gave us lost till that ball.
He was not going to catch that.
If he'd have
ball.
made the catch, it would have been an all timer. But again, Paez saved the day. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Dave he had the feel, and like I said, the move to Glasgow and some of the moves he made, that 18-inning ball game, the way he maneuvered that whole thing, and was already thinking ahead. What I'm going to do if he goes to the 19th. They already had a plan up, and in fact, Yamamoto was up and warming, said, "I can do that." One day after pitching. So again, and just give the team credit. That's guys buying in. That's not a bunch of millionaires who don't care. No. These are guys, and me and Tony used to get mad. We used to get mad at the Dodgers with a lot of guys who are just out there getting their paychecks. Didn't seem like these guys playing for each other. They're playing for the pride of the game, the organization, and those fans. You talk about Tinseltown and all that. Most of those 60,000 people that show up at Dodger Stadium are just working people. Mm-hmm. They're just hard-working people, and they love their Dodgers. And they were out at the parade en masse today, wall to wall, all the way through the town and all the way to Dodger Stadium. Again, and the players kind of reflect that. These guys, they were working. They grinded. And they were playing for each other and playing as hard as you could absolutely play because nothing came easy.
Yeah, and two, I'll send it back to you here in a second, Coach Holt. But Rex, with OSU baseball, so many times, especially in the Big 8 tournament back in the day, but even at Omaha in the College World Series, OSU would get in the losers bracket. And if I've heard you say this one time, I've heard you say it 50,000 times. That you get a funky momentum in the losers bracket because you start hitting the ball. And then whenever you start hitting the ball, everybody starts, because, you can say what you want. You can be excited, or when you're not hitting the ball, it's just hard to have positive energy, right? It's just so frustrating. So you get kind of a funky vibe in the losers bracket because you start hitting the ball and you start getting some momentum offensively. Next thing you know, you're on a roll and you're ready to beat anybody. So I say that to say the Dodgers were squarely in the losers bracket, but they still didn't hit. The craziest, I wasn't surprising that they won 2 games in a row, but it is very surprising that they won 2 games in a row and didn't get that funky momentum from hitting. I don't know I've ever seen it quite go like that. No,
their sparks came from pitching and defense for the most part. And again, the little things. I thought that the Jays, that they did some little things that were wrong. They didn't get secondary leads, and they made a lot of mistakes on the bases that cost them runs. And and the Dodgers just seemed like they ran the bases correctly, and they made all the plays defensively. And again, the play, you go back, think of that play that Muncy made, getting a runner at home plate. Yeah. Just over the course of the playoffs, how many big plays that short-circuited innings allowed the Dodgers to stay close or stay even or whatever. I think throughout the postseason, it wasn't because they were up there and all their home runs were solos. By God, hit a home run with a man on base. They did, I don't know, 12 homers and 11 of them solos, whatever it was. But they had them at the right time. But nothing came easy. They grinded throughout the playoffs. They did sweep up, to get there. But they're the first team that ever swept, and the other team went 7 to meet in a World Series. And the team that swept finally won the title. But the Blue Jays got off the mat after the Dodgers won the 18-inning game. I thought it was probably over.
Yeah, I did too.
They come back and win 2
I was
Dodger
smiling all
Stadium.
day that day.
Oh my. It's kind of like I felt last year when the Padres just beat them to death up there in San Diego. I thought, well, man, this is over. That team came back. This team came back. And that tells you about Dave. That tells you about the organization. And that's not a bunch of millionaires. That's team baseball. That's playing for each other, your coach, again, and those wonderful fans in L.A.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Coach, here's I've seen this a million different times, too. Let's go to the Will Klein deal, the unsung hero aspect of it, the Miguel Rojas aspect of it.
Oh, yeah, there are times. Will Klein, that's who I was thinking of, yes.
Yeah, what you're thinking of Reggie Willis is not who I hear you're thinking of right now.
Who's about Willis? Doing
a damn good job at OU, unfortunately, right now. Yeah. Eli, his son's pretty good. But I'll say this. There are times to where you go to a guy and you go, you know what? I don't have anybody else. It is you, and that is it. And there's a weird way to when even somebody who's not supposed to do something, when you make that statement to them, like, you're all I got. This isn't a competition. This is just, hey, you're going out there because we don't have anything else. I think in a weird way that relaxes guys like Will Klein because it removes all the expectations away from them. Am I that too tinfoilish?
No, I think you're spot on. The guy, what is his expectations going into this damn thing?
So if he goes out and gives up 5 runs, okay, well, he's back to being Will Klein, right?
Yeah. I'm on the World Series roster for the Dodgers. It's not a bad gig, But, what is his expectations? It damn sure wouldn't have thought, what, he throw 85 pitches?
Yeah.
In a tough situation. That kid, we talked about the other night, and Rex mentioned a while ago, all 26, everybody contributed this damn thing. But a guy like him, well, it's like Dave texted Miggy Rowe the night before Game 6. I need you. He basically said what you just said, Case. I need you. El Pius is hitting 098. There's got to be some movement made there somewhere, and I need you. He needed that energy. He needed, Mickey Rose not, you look at his numbers, they sucked. But the fact Dave Roberts texts me and says, hey, I need you, man. Need you tomorrow. You're starting Game 6. Hell yeah, it's going to relax him. But Mickey's a veteran player. Go back to what you said about Will Klein. Good Lord, man. His expectations, he's happy as he can be. Now, he's a tough kid or he wouldn't have been on the damn roster. That's the other part we talked about. Don't put him on the damn roster if you're not going to use him. There's always a chance you could.
Yes.
And look at this. This may be the damn reason we win the World Series because you won an 18-inning game. Let's go. They're all important because he went 7 innings. Now, I'm like you guys. I was sitting there watching that thing at 2 a.m. thinking, whoever loses this one's losing this damn series.
I think we all thought that.
And hell, the Blue Jays come out and win 2 in a row in L.A. You're thinking, oh, shit, we're in trouble. No, we go and win Game 6 and 7. We being the Dodgers, Game 6 and 7 in Toronto.
I don't know how.
I still don't know. Case, I looked at this one time we were on. I looked at it again today to make sure the Dodgers never scored more than 5 runs in a 9-inning game in a World Series. Only time they got 6 on the 18-inning game. Never scored more than 5. It goes back to the same thing. We only needed 2 against Milwaukee. We gave up 1 run a game. Hell, you could have scored 2, won 2-1 every game when you swept them. But here, never scored more than 5 in a game, and you win. You win 3 on the damn road. Yamamoto got all 3 wins in Toronto. It's unbelievable. What Rex said a minute ago, what you said, the culture, the buy-in, the playing for each other, not giving a damn who gets all the glory. We just want to win, and that team is obvious, even with the greatest player maybe that ever walked in a Shohei and all these Hall of Famers that we have, even those guys, they didn't give a damn. They just wanted to get another ring, and Kershaw's walking out with 3 of them. Makes our heart proud.
And
Coach
before we go any further, guys, we haven't even mentioned Dreyer. I was remiss that guy was huge too, man.
Yep.
Yeah. The Maytag was huge. Absolutely. By the way, Rex, you don't know this. You probably don't remember this. Back in 2019, Oklahoma State went to Iowa City and played Iowa in baseball, and Jack Dreyer was the starting pitcher that day, and he shoved it up our rear ends. Did you remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes,
yeah, absolutely.
I went to the Field of Dreams on that trip too. So
yes, yeah. That was my first memory of Jack Dreyer. So whenever I heard the name, I was like, Jack Dreyer. Oh crap, that's not Jack Dreyer. I have a weird.
Well, no, somebody had to remind me of that too. Yeah. I didn't remember it. That was the guy. Somebody reminded me of that earlier. But yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember an 18-inning game, right? Josh Holliday, the head coach. This was probably, 12, 13 years ago when he first became the head coach at OSU. We were playing the University of Texas, and it was a home game. And when we started the game, it was about 76 degrees. And when we finished the game at 12:04, it was 36. It was freezing. And there was a lot of scoring. And then how many times do we see this, Rex, to where you get to that 9th inning, the wind just comes out of the sails of everybody. And hell, it's the 17th inning and nobody can score. And you're just well, if somebody doesn't run into one here before too long, we're going to be here all freaking night, right? Corey Hassel, thank God, hit a walk-off home run that night to beat Texas. I kept thinking about that game the entire time we were playing that 18-inning game. Somebody's going to have to walk one off here.
Right. Well, no, it's, to even get all on the field, there's no doubt. And when it gets to that point, and every piece of your dugout has been used or utilized in some form or fashion for the most part by both teams, it just becomes a battle of wills. Who's going to survive? That's all it is at that point. And I think the Dodgers being the home team at that point probably helped. And Freddie finally got a hold of one, so and ended it. But yeah, I was the same way as Tony. I'm up here above, at the house, and just saying, boy, it's going to be devastating if you don't win this game. But as it turned out, they got off the mat. Then they went back to Toronto, and the Dodgers did the very same thing. Got off the mat, met the moment, and when it mattered most, they got it done.
Have you ever seen somebody catch? I say that I bring that game up to ask this question. Really, this is where I'm getting with it. In your 43 years of broadcasting, in your time before that in the game, have either one of you ever seen one player catch all 18 innings?
Ooh.
That's good. So your response right there. This is a Hall of Fame broadcaster, Rex Holt. We're talking to. 43 years behind the mic. Some of the greatest baseball college baseball's ever seen. Coach Holt, who has been in the coaching industry for what, 40 years, Coach?
Something right? Yeah,
something like that. I ask a question: have you ever seen one guy catch all 18 innings in a game? And I'm getting. That's how historic that performance from Will Smith was, right?
And the entire series, he caught every inning of the World Series, right? All 7, and we had 2 extra inning ball games. He set the record for most innings caught in a World Series, no doubt. And again,
then hit the home
what
run.
A stud he was when it mattered. Yeah.
Then hit the home run, Coach.
Yeah, what the hell? Might as well win it all. I've caught every inning. I'm ready to go home. Hell with it. Let's get a trophy. Yeah. No, what a great. No, that guy, and he's been probably our most consistent player all year, Case, when he wasn't hurt. I think
he was at Louisville too back when we played them once upon a time. And in fact, our backup catcher was from Louisville too this year.
Is Dalton rushing from their Case?
He's from.
Is it rushing?
He played at Louisville also, but. Yeah, a lot of these guys, of course, are college players. A lot of these days, the college games turning out a lot of the stars. I mean, there's still guys that went straight to to the big or whatever. But anyway, the college baseball is doing well and providing a lot of these stars of the future. And like I say, we saw several of them on display again in this series. And college baseball can be proud, man. They've turned out a good product and turned out some good players.
The great thing about sports is there's a saying that you can never go home. And what that means is, you can physically go back to where you grew up. But the warm, fuzzy, just all those feelings that you remember as a 10-year-old or as a 5-year-old thinking about Santa Claus and crap like that, that stuff can never go back. So what's so romantic about sports is that as we're different ages here, all different ages, but still we had that. I mean, we all three of everybody watching this. It's like you're 10 years old watching the TV again, or it's like you're watching Sandy Koufax. It brings those warm fuzzies back, like you're able to go home again and feel all of those feelings like you did when you're a kid. I think that's what's so special about moments like this. Am I being a little bit too over the top here?
Well, I think that's just sports in general case too. I mean, in the big scheme of things, it's not life and death. No, it's not. But it's amazing how sport can. It's a distraction, really, from everyday life. And look what we got going on. The government shut down and wars all over the place. And the real world is, it's no fun a lot of times to hear about or think about. And maybe you're trying to again keep your job and put food on the table. But sports can bring everybody, regardless of your economic situation. Everybody can pull for the same team, all ages. It's just, and again, that you have such passion for your team. And again, it's an amazing thing how sports can, it just makes life better. If you're passionate about it, you enjoy it, which we all do. And then, I think rooting for it. But again, if you didn't have a rooting interest, this World Series, a baseball fan, you're going to love it. That's that's high dollar entertainment, as good as it gets. And we had some friends that me and Tony heard from. They didn't really have a dog in the fight, but they loved the World Series. They were texting us like, hey, congrats or whatever. So, again, sports is just a wonderful thing. It's a distraction. It's not life and death, no. But it is something that fuels such passion in so many people. And it's a great thing about America in general and sports in general, the Olympics, whatever you want to talk about.
Coach, I got to say, I mean, I know the Cubs World Series a couple years ago, of course, when you get to be our age, a couple years ago, I don't even know how many years that is, right? That could be like anywhere from like 2 to like 13 a couple years ago could. But I'm just going to go on record and say that in my lifetime, and I think I'm able to put my Dodgers fandom on the side and have a pretty fair perspective on this. This is the greatest World Series I have ever seen with my own eyes. I don't know. You had the greatest player in the world. You had the greatest performance ever by one player ever in the world. You had an 18-inning game. You had 2 extra inning games. You had teams winning on the road that shouldn't had. You had a Game 7 for one. Then you had a Game 7 that went extra innings. Then the road team won. Then the home team should have tied the game. You had a double play to end both Game 6 and 7. This is the greatest World Series I've ever seen. You guys climb into that. Tell me what you think.
I tend to agree with you, Case. I mean, one of the rivals just for recent memory because it was close to our heart because Matt Holliday played in it and the Rangers played in it. That was a hell of a series that year, 2011.
When Hamilton hit the 3-run homer? Yeah.
Well, that game was off the charts. That nuts.
Wow.
And, whatever. Don't get Chief Matt Davis started on the no doubles defense with Nelly Cruz. Don't get him pissed off here. But that was a great series.
It's like playing prevent defense in football, right? It prevents you from winning.
Prevents you from winning. All the hell it does. They go right down the field on you. This thing popped up today, Case, mentioned exactly what you said. Pinch hit this is the first in this World Series. Pinch hit grand slam. 2 extra inning games, 2 extra inning homers, walk-off homers, 7-4 double play to end the game. Back-to-back homers lead off a game, a complete game, Yamamoto. First 12 strikeout, 0 walk, Yasevich. Player who reached base 9 times in one game. A game-tying 9th inning homer that flipped the World Series, Rojas. That's just stuff it's never happened before in the World Series till this year. So, yeah, we love it because the Dodgers won, but if just a baseball, we're all baseball guys. I mean, me and Rex will sit down and watch anybody play. Hell, we'll go watch anybody play. Yeah. You're the same way, Case. We're baseball purists. We really are. We just have a passion for the Dodgers. But even if you did, just sitting there watching that thing, I mean, it's still amazing that the Dodgers are able to win the thing. It just shows you, the culture, from top to bottom. I mean, it's nuts to them go on the road. But we talked about it for Game 6, Case. You and I know, we said don't count them out because this has been a grinding team the last 2 years.
Well, I was super optimistic on Friday. I was nothing but optimistic on Friday. For some reason, this is going to be a good situation.
Well, we felt good about Game 6 with Yamamoto. You're thinking, well, if he's like he has been, we're going to win this damn thing.
And you just kind of feel like, Ohtani and Glass now, they're not going to lose that freaking game. It's just kind of how you felt.
Yeah, we thought we had all 4 starters pitching in Game 7. It makes you feel pretty damn good. But, Toronto was playing so well. It went just the way you thought it would.
Yes.
And thank God we got the home run to win the game and still didn't score more than 5 runs. Didn't need it. All we needed was 5 that night. But what a great World Series and one for the ages. I think a lot of people will be talking about for a long time. Not only just that stuff we mentioned right there, the stuff that us Dodger fans dug into, the moves Roberts is making, Will Klein. I mean, you could go on forever. This and as they always say, how can you not be romantic about baseball? I mean,
no doubt.
If you watch that series, so look, I'll just make a personal observation. Randy said he became a Dodger fan in '55. That's the year Rex was born. He was 6 years old, ran home. All the World Series games in those days were day games. I can remember that too, Rex. We was always trying to be sick during the day so we could watch a World Series because it's all day games. Randy says he's 6 years old, so he's been doing this 70 years. 55 team, he watched that, and that's when he became a Dodger fan. What it rubbed off on me and Rex moving forward. And I remember me and Rex, I'm probably 8
That's
or 9.
funny. I was exactly 15 when Gibby hit the home run, and that's when I became a Dodgers fan.
There you go. I was going to ask you. Randy wanted to know when you became, so I'll tell him.
I was 15 years old, his exact age, whenever Gibby hit that home run, and I was hooked. I loved Vin Scully. I didn't know Vin Scully was even the broadcaster for the Dodgers. I know I loved listening to him and Joe Garagiola. They were amazing. And then when I found out he was a Dodgers broadcaster, then when Gibby hit that home run, I've been hooked ever since.
And it doesn't get any better than that. Then Joe Davis had a call on the Freddies, and then the other night, if you want to beat the champ. But I remember I guess I'm 8 or 9 years old. Rex probably remembered, maybe I may be in 10, whenever we were on that senior trip. I remember being Rex sprinting at Dodger Stadium. I don't know what it's like now. I hadn't been there. Rex has been back, but the stairwell's going up the top. It's dug in. So I remember me and Rex, little kids, we're running up those stairs. That first time I stepped out there and saw Dodger Stadium, I'll never forget. I'm with him. Mom and Dad were there. They were behind us. Me and him are fly-assing up those stairs. I'm 8 or 9. He's 11 or 12, and just getting our ass up there. And I know they played the Cubs both times we were there. I think they lost both games. Didn't make a damn to me. I just remember being there. Here I am 60 years later. I'm ready to go back. But
Yingling or Michelada?
Yeah, I remember that. Like this was yesterday, me and my brother running up there and looking over the first time I saw the field we were way up the top of the damn thing, but it didn't matter. Hell, I could have been sitting on top of a mountain. If I could see Dodger Stadium, I knew I was hooked.
Jim Mudcat Grant versus Bill Hand.
Bill Hand. That's it.
For the Cubbies, Wes Parker at first base, and
West. Yep.
Jim Lefevre at second, Maury Wills at short,
Maury Wills. Yep.
Willie Davis in center. Boy, I don't know. I can't remember I can't remember the third baseman at the time.
They went through a lot of third basemen there before. I remember that.
Billy Markowitz, maybe some of those guys, but yeah, I remember. And then the next year, they Claude Osteen went complete game and had about 3 hits. And that year they did the Dodgers won that game the second time we went around. Yeah.
Phil Reagan come in. He's pitched for the Cubs. The Vulture, they call him.
He was one of the first real specialist relievers, the Vulture, they called him, because he'd come in and steal all the wins late.
Yeah.
But that wasn't typical back in those days.
No.
You know, that's the thing that this series did too. I think, it's kind of like running backs are devalued in the NFL, and I still love them. I still think they matter. But the starting pitching had become 5-6 innings, get out. It was all about the bullpen. I think this series reestablished the starting pitching, and you saw these performances in Yamamoto with 3 complete games. I just think maybe starting pitching is in vogue again, and it's always been important. But it's so important. But anyway, yeah.
Best series you've ever seen, Rex?
Yeah, let me say, as far as multiple games, yes.
Yeah.
Seen some great games, game sevens, or just great games and drama and high drama. But for an entire 7-game series, there's a couple of them probably that weren't classics, but most of them all were down to the wire, nail-biting, high drama. Yeah. Everything mattered. Every pitch mattered. Every play mattered. I just don't think it gets any better than the one we just watched, no.
I'm going to say that I have a lot of experience in this game, and I almost always know what's getting ready to happen, Rex. We talk all the time about this and that, and same with you, Coach. And I'm going to tell you, from start to finish, I had no idea what was ever going to happen next in this series. That's how I know how great of a series it was. But, hey, we got about 10 minutes here left. This is such a wonderful joy for me to get to have both of you sat down. I'm taking up way too much of your time. Too bad, because I'm having a hell of a good time getting to talk to both of you about this wonderful day, the day the Dodgers had the parade to celebrate their second World Championship in consecutive years, third since 2020. How about that? That sounds great, right? Yeah. So I got to ask both of you dive in. I don't care who goes first. This team was not perfect. It was far from perfect. It was supposed to be a lot more perfect than it was. So what would you like to see? I know Austin covered a lot of this tonight, and he's our guru with all that kind of stuff. But for us guys who kind of like to keep it surface level in terms of the offseason type of stuff, what do you want to see this team do, either one of you?
Well, I mean, I just think, we thought we went and got a couple of pitchers that would at the bullpen last off season. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out, and mainly because of injury. The two guys, Yancey or whoever those are, Yates, and
Scott.
Trevor Scott.
Yeah.
Tanner Scott.
Scott, right. And that was supposed to, and then so, you had some other guys. You had some other guys that were back. But I thought, well, that'll shore up the bullpen, and it never works out that way. I mean, of course, the year before, we thought we had plenty of starting pitching, and we didn't. We wound up with a bunch of relievers, and Walker Buehler.
And a bullpen game with the series on line.
It's always going to be something. Injuries will change whatever you think you need to do, but I wouldn't mind seeing them. I don't know, maybe, or get some of those young guys. I'm all, they let some of these guys have opportunities. I don't know if Sheehan is a bullpen. I think he'll probably move into the starting role, maybe take Kershaw's spot in the rotation next year. I don't know. But I don't know, Robo and those guys, maybe, maybe we're going to find a permanent home in the bullpen. Because, it doesn't hurt to have young guys out there, too, particularly guys that throw like that. So, again, they're not perfect. They need to get younger, I think. I don't, as far as the, middle infield, maybe, and some of that. But I think their farm system, if we're judging by what the guys they brought up this year and what they did, hopefully they got some troops on the way. We need to get I think they need to get a little younger at a couple of positions. But I wouldn't make too many drastic changes because it seems to be working pretty well.
Coach?
Well, I'll do the same thing. I mean, from the top on down, with Andrew Friedman, Billy Gasparini, those guys. You mentioned talking to Billy 2 years ago, Case. I remember he said, we didn't know, as the season's going on, we don't know what the hell's going to happen. We felt like we made all these moves and blah, blah, and it kind of went to hell. Like Rex said, it never works out like you planned it. I know the Dodgers, the offseason didn't work out well. Looking forward, it didn't work out well. But at the time, it was a hell of a move. They didn't do anything at the trading deadline because they didn't think they had to. Looking back, maybe now they'd say, well, hell, maybe we should have. But that's what I mean. But we know the Dodgers from Andrew Friedman and Gasparino and all those guys in front of us are big time. They're proven veterans. They're proven, they're just like the manager on the field. They're going to make great decisions, but it doesn't always work out that way. So how are you going to do it? I think I agree with Rex a little bit. I'd love to see another bat in the outfield. I don't know. I know they're talking about the, Tucker, whatever. I don't care what they do there, but I do.
I want Kyle Tucker. I'm going to say that right off the bat.
Yeah, I know. It'd be great to have him. I don't know what they do with him left field, right field, until
I'm on record. I'm still butthurt that we don't have Johan Duran either. But
I saw him pitch in Texas. I'm with you, Case.
I still hell because they didn't protect Clemente.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no kidding. It's going way back, but I'd like to see him be a little younger.
You're talking about hold on. No. I can't let that go by. Okay, so the Rule 5 draft is getting ready to come up next month, and it's typically really has no impact to Major League rosters because it's guys that people wouldn't even put on their 40-man, and so is a team really going to take somebody a team won't put on the 40-man and put them on their 26 the whole season? I mean, it happens. Guys are taken. Roberto Clemente is like the one exception. He got taken in the Rule 5 draft, was not protected, got taken in the Rule 5 draft. The rest is history. And Rex is still pissed about that.
Yeah, right. You hate to let the good ones get away. And,
oh, my God.
That happened a couple of times maybe back in the day, but that's one that hurts.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a
Coach, you want to finish your thoughts, and then we let Rex have final thoughts and get out of here.
No, I'm good on that one. I just, I've got total confidence in Andrew Friedman, Billy Gasparino, that whole staff, and our on-field staff has already proven, you don't need to question those guys. I know they're going to be questioned because as coaches, we are always questioned anyway, and hell, as parents and teachers and principals, and the whole damn thing are going to get questioned. That's just part of life. It's not a big deal. But if you look at the big scheme of things, the big picture, these guys shouldn't be questioned as far as doing everything they can to win. Every day they walk out there, and it's been proven 3 championships in 5 years. And that's from the top on down. We got a great owner. By the way, he just bought the Lakers. He must be doing pretty well. I mean, Mr. Walter must be doing all right money-wise. I saw he just bought the damn Lakers. So anyway, we got great ownership all the way through front office, on-field staff. We got Henny at Oklahoma City. We got Eric Wedge, a freaking manager of the year, managing the AA team.
Shoemaker at your single A level.
Yeah, I mean we got great. Those guys are getting trained all the way up. I mean, it's the Dodgers organization. Forget about the damn money. The on-the-field stuff, the behind-the-scenes stuff is top-notch, top-level. Don't give a damn about the money. They get it done the right way, and, hey, the proof's in the pudding, Case. That's all. Put a ring on him. Give Kershaw his 3rd ring, and get him go get that pot belly, get a little bit bigger, baby. He's already got a dad bod. I love that guy.
And he's not afraid to show it off, right?
Oh, hell no, he ain't. Let it go.
Final thoughts, Rex?
Today, there's another picture, but I saw him. He had his shirt off in the parade all day long, and of course, if I looked like him, I probably would too.
Oh yeah, Kike looks pretty good with his shirt off. I look like Kike. I'd take my damn shirt off too. But yeah,
and he's a player. And that's the other thing about those guys. We talk about Miggy and they can play every position on the field.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, those guys are invaluable. And how
they are.
We saw Kike all season long. That guy like that. I don't care what he does. He always shows up in the playoffs, it seems like, when you need him most. But also during the course of the year, this guy's down. Throw Kike in there, man, you don't miss a beat. Guys like that are invaluable, and we've had more than our share of those guys that can play multiple positions. And, again, Tommy Edman, great example there, too. Didn't have a great postseason, but he did last year. And but he can play everywhere, and on the outfield or infield. So I say keep all those guys, because they're proven performers and they can play everywhere.
Yep.
Guys, this has been such a wonderful honor. It's been a joy for me to get to sit and listen to you guys talk. And this is great, man. So thank you guys so much for joining. What a great day it is to be a Dodger.